Hi, lovelies. Welcome to Transfer Thursday, where we talk about how we are intentionally investing for our future. If you're new here, my name is Rosa. My channel is all about my personal budgeting journey. It is typically about how we stuff our money, where we stuff our money, why we stuff our money. It's about cash envelopes, sinking funds, savings challenges, all things Rosa's budget. And then once every 2 weeks, I pull out all of our investing and I sit down and I look at it and see where we're at. And then one of those, like today, we look at where were we at as we closed out February and we rolled into March. If you're not a subscriber, I'd really appreciate if you take a second and hit subscribe down below. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much for coming back and spending a little bit more of your time with me. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. And everyone, please take a second and smash that thumbs up button. All right, so one of the things that we do, we talk about is my IRA and where we are in our savings for our IRA. An IRA stands for an individual retirement account. You have two choices. You can get a traditional or you can get a Roth. We choose to do a Roth where we go ahead and pay taxes on it now so we don't have to worry about taxes later. It is all a personal choice as to what type of IRA you get. This is our 2024 IRA. We are still putting a little bit of money into it. We only get to do that because we didn't quite make it to the $7,000 max. We only have until April 15th in order to finish adding more to this. We are not going to make it to that $7,000, but pretty soon we will start, and every year we will make it to our max. Since the last time I saw you, I've added another payment and we now have put $650 into our IRA for 2024. Not a lot. 2024, if you are new here, was really spent and focused on paying down our debt. In doing so, you're supposed to kind of put all retirement on pause. We put retirement down to what I would consider my bare minimum, and that was $20 and that's $20 every one of my paychecks. Once that happened, we are focusing on our $10,000 savings challenge. We are trying to get that done in 6 months. Because of that, I upped it from 20 to 50. Once that $10,000 has been saved, then we will begin to up this so that we can fully fund our IRA every year without any issues. The second thing we talk about when we do Transfer Thursday are stocks. And I kind of like to talk about short-term goals and then some long-term goals. Excuse me. And these, the intent is to meet or exceed by the end of 2025. We have a variety of different stocks. We have some that I intentionally play for bounces. We have some that we are intentionally investing for dividends, and we have some that we are intentionally investing for long term. For the ones that we are doing focusing on, because not all of them are intended to be kept, there are some I cannot wait to get out of. My goal is to put at least $5 every month into every one of those positions, and I'll show you how we're doing that in just a little bit. By the end of 2025, I would like to have an estimated annual income of about $750. I think we started the year off close to $5. So this is almost a stretch goal for me. It means that there's going to have to be some good chunks that do come in here every now and then. Thankfully, I took some Christmas money at the end of last year and was able to build some up. I also took some of our tax money again, was able to build some up. So just trying to get up to that $750. And then, and then by the end of the year, I would like to have at least 4 of our dividend positions doing what's called a DRIP, a dividend reinvestment plan, where they automatically reinvest 1 or more shares per month. We started the year with 0 positions doing that. When it comes to our focus positions, we were able to get it up to 4. Again, that was intentionally, took some of that Christmas money, put it into a couple, brought us up to 2. With our taxes, I then also intentionally put some in and it gave us 2 more. So we are up to the 4. Now it's a matter of, can we keep it up to 4? And also, could I possibly get a 5th one? I don't see a 5th one happening, but you never know. So those are our short-term goals. And then our long-term goals, and these are what I call 10 to 20-year goals. Some of you are the most adorable ever and have informed me of the unrealistic goals that I have set. I know some of these don't seem realistic, but as I continue to get pay increases, and as some of this, just as time goes on, I do see some of this happening, and it may be 25 years out instead of 20, but that is perfectly fine. And some of this I might even be able to see 5 years out instead of 10 years out. It just totally depends. One of those is I would love to replace my honey's income. It Regardless what his income is, he is ready to stop working. He keeps telling me that all of the time. I keep telling him you can't stop working because you want things, and because you want things, you have to be able to pay for things. And he laughs back at me, but I would love to be able to do that. Currently, we have our dividends have a rate of return at around 8%. My goal is to keep that rate of return at 8% or higher. There are a couple of dividends that I am working on getting my way out of. As I get out of them, they have lower rate of returns. My percentage return will increase, which will help build some of this a little bit faster as well. I, in 10 years, really hope that at every one of my dividend positions will drip 2 or more shares every month. And then the one that I get told is very unrealistic, or I get told replacing my honey's income is really the one that's unrealistic. But in 10 years, I would love to have a $100,000 portfolio. At the end of February, we were at $7,749. So I do see this $100,000 portfolio happening in less than 10 years, just because I know that, one, it will continue to build on its own, and two, because I do intend on continuing to build it up outside of that. So I'm not just waiting on my dividends to come in to continue to grow it. I do intend on intentionally growing this. So this I definitely do see happening before 10 years, but it's a process and a way to get to it. Those of you replace my honey's income, it's going to happen. I know it is. I believe in being positive, and maybe in 10 years, we can replace half of his income, which would be fantastic. And by 20 years, we can replace all of his income. So I do see that happening based off of knowing that I'm going to continue growing all of my positions. All right, so now let's check and see what we bought and then how we ended the year, or how we ended February for our dividends. So AAP is Advanced Auto Part. I intentionally put $25 in from every one of my honey's checks into Advanced Auto Parts. We are growing this for 2 reasons. One, just so happens to pay us a dividend. It's a quarter every share we own. And then secondly, honestly, guys, this is intentionally a bounce for us. It's just a positive and a perk that it also pays us dividend. The dividend percentage really isn't that high. I'm completely okay with that, because again, this is a bounce. I think it's like 30 something dollars right now. The intent is to wait for it to reach $150, $200, somewhere in there, which is long term. And I know that coming out of the gate, and then sell it and take all of that. We currently have 22, almost 23 shares of AAP, and just moving and growing. I'm hoping that by the time we get paid again in April, that we will be able to, that we'll have, be able to earn over $5. That's what I'm trying to get out. I'm just really stinking at it. $5 in dividends in April is what I'd really love to happen. Acre is one of the ones that did pay us beginning of March. I put in $5 into my what did I put it into? I put it into my brokerage, and it popped out 1.020 shares, and we ended February with 30 shares, which is half a share more than what we went into, what we left January in. AGNC, we got almost half a share with my $5. And we are up to 87 at the end of February. We had 87 and a half shares. This is a monthly payer. Yay, love when that happens. And it dripped over 1 share. So in February, what you can't see here is that we earned 1038 and we earned 1.025 shares. So love it, love it, love it. ARCC. We put in $5 into our brokerage, came out with $4.99, and we bought 0.214, almost a quarter shares. So we are going into February we ended February with 5.134 shares. BWLP, I got 4/10 of a share for my $4.99. Love it, love it, love it. We should receive dividends this month from BWLP. And we ended the month at almost 9 shares in February, plus this puts us over the 9. Cube, we put in, I got $4.96 and only got 0.0119 shares. Some of you have questioned why when I put in $5 and it pops my number out, why does this change? And it's about the price of the stock. So I know that Cube is a lot more expensive than BWLP, because BWLP I was able to get 0.4 of a share, and this I was only able to get 0.119. So just knowing that when stocks are more expensive, I get a whole lot less of them. And we ended February with 2.329 shares of Cube. Duke is really expensive for us, speaking of differences in price. I think it's hanging out around the $100 mark. I bought this stuff Friday of last week, so I don't know exactly what, or Monday, whatever the first, had to have been Monday because I did after the first. So regardless, we got 0.043s, and I think it was like 100, I think it's like 100 and something a share. So this one is growing extremely, extremely, extremely slow just because it's so expensive for us. So we ended with 1.463 shares. EPD, almost $5, and we ended up with 0.105 shares and ended the month of February with 4.33 shares. Yay! FAGIX, we are into FAGIX for 2 reasons. One, it just so happens to pay dividends, but 2, we are really into FAGIX for long-term growth, but it does have a perk and it does pay us dividends. So we earned 80 cents last month, and we got $5 and almost a half share. So we ended the month with just under 23 shares of FAGIX. FDHY, put in $4.99, it popped out 0.102 shares. We also got paid 97 cents, yay! But we ended the month of February at 3.759 shares. FSPTX does not pay us any dividends at all, but I do want to intentionally grow this. That's why it is part of this challenge, because I want to make sure that it is growing. This is one we are in for long-term growth. We ended the month with 2.758 shares. IBM is another one that is very expensive for us. I have 4 that are $100 or more. IBM is one of them. It just so happens that I have the least amount of shares of IBM out of the 4 that are monstrously expensive. All of them I own like 1 share, 1 point something shares of them. So because of that, I put in $10 and got 0.038 shares. So I'm trying to build IBM up to get it closer to that 2 full shares, and not focusing on the other ones that are expensive for me, but just trying to get it there. So we ended February with 1.313 shares of IBM. And then Mo, we got 0.090, almost 1/10 of a share of Mo, and ended up the month on 7.586 shares with it. And then O, again, $4.99 went in, or $5 went in, $4.99 popped out, and we got 0.088 shares and ended February on 4.464 shares. And then the rest of these I will invest in later this month. So these are ones that didn't get their $5 but will. The goal that I had, the short-term goal that said I wanted to invest at least $5 every month, so far we are hitting that goal. I think that goal is helping me stay focused and making sure that this does not fall off the to-do list of things to make sure that we do every time we get paid. Because it is the beginning of March, February ended, figured I would just quickly go over. This is everything we got paid in February. We already are into March. I get paid on the 1st for some of the things in March, so I've already started to put them in. But February is the low month out of the quarter. I have one that is extremely high, I have one that is much lower, and I have one that is somewhere in the middle. February is the lower of the 2 months. We only got 38 $8.79. I tease that's what I got paid. It really isn't what I got paid, it's what was reinvested because they drip, the dividend reinvestment plan. So I don't actually see that money. It buys additional stocks for me. My portfolio value, as I said earlier, was $7,749. Our yield is 8.38%. Our yield on cost is 7.99%. So I have fallen under that 8%. I think as time goes on, I think we'll get back up there, but we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on that. My annual projected income is $649 for the year. And currently, my portfolio is down $378. So really, when I tell you that my portfolio value is $7,749, really, I have about $8,000 in the market, but some of the positions I am in are way down. Some of them are just down a little. A couple of them on here, like I have more here than I do for my investing challenge, and that's because I want out of them. It just so happens that I'm so upside down in them that it is not beneficial to get rid of them, and I refuse to lose that money, especially when they're going to pay me. So it's just a matter of staying on top of it, paying attention to it, and always looking at where are we. I do have some extra blanks because I'm always interested in stocks, ETFs, whatever you are interested in that pays a dividend. I would love to hear if you have one out there that you would love for me to go look at and see if that's something I might want to add to my portfolio. I've watched some videos recently and they gave a handful of suggestions, and I went and looked, and I'm Googling and I'm looking and going, that yield is like 1%. Why am I going to put my money in something that's going to pay me 1% when I know that I'm already earning over 8? So some of the positions I have, I know don't pay very well. Some of the position and some of those I'm trying to get rid of, but some of them don't pay very well, and I'm just waiting to their long-term goals so that they will increase in price. So just lots of different things to look at, lots of different things to do. I would love to know if you have any questions or want to say hey, or again, have stocks that you'd like to share, put it down in chat. And I hope you have a great day. Bye, guys.